Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Draft Day Sports College Basketball. This is episode 49. It's recruiting time with the visits September the 11th. Our first target is not one of the best targets out there. I think this is the best target for us according to scouting. So a shooting guard who is a B overall only puts him in the middle of the list, but he is balanced in all the right ways with the exception of inside shooting. The athleticism is good for that backcourt, full court press. The defense overall is good. The outside shooting is fairly good. And he does everything we need him to do relatively well. He's a little bit far from being one of the top recruits because of the inside shooting and the shot blocking just aren't great. The overall ball handling and stealing aren't great. So it drops him down to 153. But at 153, I think he's a very reasonable target for us. So he's the first one we're going after because I think we've got a better shot at getting him compared to a lot of other guys. So that's Dante Gordon. And, you can see he comes in at, 9, 10 on our list. We've got most of the guys on the list cool. We've got one or two on the next page. But overall, we have 7 scholarships. That's just one. We have 6 more. We have 3 more visits that we can take. I think we do want to target the better players for the most part with the remainder of those. As we had that one standout, hopefully can get to kind of guy. And now we'll see what we can get. At the same time, I've left out the top guys. We're not getting those. But we start at 60. And then we've got, this whole range of guys down to about 200. That's hopefully closer to a range that we can actually get, that we can achieve. I've also pushed beyond just your Washington, Oregon this year. I'm trying to now, narrow a window and get players within a window. Trying it a little different this year compared to past years. So we've added in California. We added in Idaho, though we only have one guy out of Idaho, but still. Trying to get a range. 3 stars better, but not those 5-star, superstar, top 25, top 50 kind of guys. Maybe something we've got a better chance of getting. Darius Q, I think, was 50th or something like that, and that's the best we've gotten. So, and we have not replicated that in quite a few seasons. So trying things a little different this year. But anyway, let's get to those big offers at the top. Depending on kind of what we found, because some of these guys are not going to be into location as a thing. We are seeing location as a decent option there, so we'll start with him. Trotty doesn't care about location, so this is not a good target to get after. He does care about playing time, but the playing time is a weird mechanic on how this works, and I think a lot of the guys that care about playing time care about a tactic where playing time goes towards the starters. And they have to feel that they're going to be at the top of the depth chart as they come in. So not necessarily a good choice for us. WALLACE cares about playing time. Good talent. We'll get after him. Defense isn't fantastic, but he is a very, very good scorer. And that could be huge for us if we were to get him. First round of visits, 2 guys have already made a decision, so they were very quick on that one. Let's start with Dante Gordon. Gordon, this was the one we were talking about, but he doesn't like us. Right here, these guys were all big on location, by the way. And right here does not like us either. Richard Wallace, not a good start here. Okay, Wallace was good. That was a good visit. And ZACK Johnson was really impressed. Okay, so two out of 4 went well. Johnson is one of the others. Smith was the 5th guy that I put a scholarship offer out to. So clearly he didn't sign up for us. Yeah, that's UCLA. And ZACK Johnson has picked us. We gave him an offer and 1 visit, and he liked us so much that he instantly picked us. We got ZACK Johnson. So we've got one. We got one. 4-star recruit, 112th overall, local kid, point guard. He's only 6'1", but for us, that's a big-time recruit. ZACK Johnson, point guard. So here is what ZACK Johnson looks like. 3.1 GPA means he will definitely qualify. Fairly good scorer from the outside. Let's see how Location was number one, and being from home, we just nailed him on that one. He was more than happy. He is straight from Portland. I mean, this is his home city. Not a good rebounder. Not going to get turnovers much, not force turnovers much, but he's a good ball handler for us, for our level, and scorer. And a decent enough defender. The athleticism is good for the full court press, but I mean, we are talking about the 17th best point guard in the nation according to the rankings. For our level, that's massive. I mean, that's a huge grab. Full 4-star recruit here that, yeah, we could be really happy with this one. Point guard's been a big weakness for us for the last couple seasons, so yeah, quite pleased by that as we continue on. Now, Ray here did not like us and has already bumped us off his list, so go ahead and revoke that. Wallace was a good one. He did like us. We still didn't crack his top 10 as far as I can tell, but we'll keep on it. He did like Location, so Dante Gordon was somebody that I really liked, so I am going to try a second time with Dante Gordon before we move on. You know, we're not that great of a recruiter. We might have the right message, but sometimes we deliver it the wrong way. If that was the case, we can get back into his good graces this time around. Sometimes they just flat out don't like us. There's enough about our program that they do not like. Jim Forrest will be our next target. We did not speak with him last time. I think we're going to do the same thing I was doing earlier. We're going to try to dip a little bit lower and see where that gets us. Mike Holbrook, power forward, Washington. He's a B overall. Defense is okay, but as the power forward, he wouldn't necessarily be, the athleticism wouldn't be as important in the full court press. But great, fantastic inside shooting. Amazing inside shooting. The overall scoring is fairly good. He passes the ball well, though he doesn't handle it. And the rebounding is fantastic. And the shot blocking is really good. I mean, this is somebody who could do a lot of good things, I think, potentially. So we will add him to our target list. And we have our schedule for the year. We're going to be at the Coaches Classic this year. We open against Duke. That's not a good matchup for us. And then we have Florida A&M at home. So we do get at least a few, we have 4 home games during this non-conference schedule. Better than what we get a lot of years. And Nebraska is up there. I have not changed from Harvesters to Cornhuskers yet. Same with Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors, I believe, for Hawaii. Gosh, I was just at their campus a month ago on vacation at the State Fair. But outside of the Duke matchup, I think there's a really good chance for quite a few wins during this non-conference schedule. You know, you would think we can get to 9 or 10 wins. Dante Gordon is going to Washington. That makes sense. I think he was from Washington and he cared about Location. No wonder he, went for them. Didn't care for us anyway. Wallace, another good visit from Wallace. Forrest, thought the visit went well. And Holbrook. Hey, outside of Gordon, who, yes, I know was a popular choice for me personally, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 is a good outcome there. We do have a few more guys headed to specific places, it looks like. We have USC. Yes, we do. Cal Bears, UCLA, Washington, and UCLA. But we are hot for Wallace, and Forrest is warm. So 2 of those going really well. This would be potentially our biggest recruiting cycle ever if we were to get both of these 2 guys and Zach Johnson. I mean, three big recruits, 2 4-stars and a 3-star. That would put us way up those rankings, which we've never been as of yet. We tend to be well above the bottom. And of course, through transfer portal, we really make up that ground that has us climbing that ladder fairly quick. But taking a look at Wallace, we're up to number 5 on his list. That's still some ground to cover, though. But if we're lucky, those top four aren't giving offers at this stage. They could be big time programs. For Forest, we are number 5 as well, and I like our chances, even better of signing Forest. And you can see Forest is a pretty solid candidate. Can't make a free throw for the life of him, but other than that, big surprise here. So Trotty, we are somehow number 1 on his list, even though we're cool. I'm nervous about going for the visit because I think if we plug playing time, which he cares about, it's not going to go so well. Location is something he likes that could give us a little bit of a boost, but we're going to start with an offer. I think that's a good way to possibly get somebody landed, but I'm going to have to try to pitch playing time. I'm just nervous about him not being a fan of the outcome of that. Same with location for that matter. Okay, WALLACE home visit, another good one. And I see a decision down below. Forest was really happy, so that's 2 good ones. And he also has his decision below. HOLBROOK, another good visit. Trotty, okay, he was happy. That was good. We were already number 1 on his list. No decision though. WALLACE, going to Oregon. Going to my alma mater. Okay. Oh, San Diego for Forest. That is home for him, I think. So we don't get either of those 2. Close, though. So, strategically, the shift this year to adding in the other neighboring states. So, if you don't know your geography, you have Oregon. Washington is just above it. To the side is Idaho, and beneath is California. It's touching each of those. So you're going to have proximity, right? The way this game is set up. So you have Oregon is literally home state, location based, number 1. The others are touching, surrounding. So they're going to get a -1, but they're still going to get a good score on location. From there, you're getting further and further out, which just, takes away that score. You'll still have regional, like, say, West, but you're not going to get the neighboring state. So strategically, this shift to add in California and Idaho has been a huge plus. I think also this shift to get away from the top players and get away from the lower level players that just aren't really good enough to impact our program anyway, because of how much better we're getting things in the transfer portal, has been good. Now, so far we've only signed 1, but we've been really close to getting WALLACE. We were number 5 on his list and climbing. And we had Forest up to number 5 on his list, and that was climbing. We are still number 1 on Trotty's list, though, despite the playing time pledge. We stayed cool. Like I said, that wasn't... He cares about it a bit, but it's not his biggest thing. I would imagine school prestige or facilities probably is, and we're not good at either of those things. So it's a difficult ask. How we're number 1 on his list, I don't know, but happy to continue pitching to him, and maybe we'll get him to sign even though he's not hot. We are number 1. Number 1 is number 1, and so at any time it's possible that he will sign with us. HOLBROOK, another one. We've jumped to number 2 on his list 1 week after we've started recruiting him, and that location pitch seems to be going quite well there. So we might not have gotten the targets we've been after, but the interest, the chance at them, so much better than years past where we were nowhere near on a lot of guys, and then we'd get close on 1, and every other year we'd get 1 guy signed. I think we had 1 year where we had 2 guys signed, but they actually weren't really very good. It was a 3-star and a 2-star, and this seems to be a better approach, at least for the next while, for the next handful of seasons, as we continue to climb out of the lower depths of this tiered system, and as we continue to have fairly low school prestige until we get better, and where my coaching attributes at the same time are progressing but still have a long ways to go. We're still in the 40s out of a 100. Pitching somebody else about playing time was a good thing. So maybe we should try playing time here. Coach discipline, we're very neutral. We're not overly assertive as a coach. So I don't know how well we would score on coach discipline with him. But you know what? It's worth a shot. Somebody who's not really on the radar at all. So with one more left and a big drop off in terms of what's left out there, I think we're going to try Ray here one more time, the first guy we went after. So another offer here. Without even looking at the emails, I can already see HOLBROOK signed with USC right here with Memphis, but Trotty has climbed to warm. So 2 targets. It might not be the greatest in terms of how many signed, but like I was saying, the progress is very clear, very evident. We are getting somewhere. The coach discipline thing with Chico Jordan did not work out, so noted. But that is it for this recruiting session. I think Trotty probably will sign with us eventually, and that's a really good class. I mean, that's 2 4-star guys, as Zach Johnson has climbed from a 3-star to a 4-star talent. He's right on that edge in between. His ranking actually went down 2 spots, but he went, or was he already a 4-star? Maybe he was already 4-star. I know he's on the edge, but new rankings came out, and so some guys shifted position a little bit. As we're ready to tip off the season, point guard was a real concern last year. McMillian was the backup. We were losing the point guard we had. We knew McMillian wasn't really good enough. He's one of those guys that we actually recruited as a freshman. He's still only a 2-star talent. Who we brought in, Seabrooks, wasn't... we went full in on point guard in the transfer portal, and we never really found anything good. It turns out that Seabrooks is about the same player as McMillian. So right now, I think Seabrooks might be just like an ounce better. They're both juniors. McMillian, a redshirt junior. Seabrooks, the transfer, true junior coming in. I've got them split at 20 each. 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off, alternating back and forth, giving them the non-conference portion of the season to see if somebody stands out above the other. Seabrooks, to me, looks like he could be slightly better. But, of course, our scouting is terrible. So let's see how they actually perform. I think Seabrooks might be a little bit more efficient as an offensive force compared to McMillian. And similar defensively, the 2 players are. Likewise, my 2 backup power forwards, Cooper and Purvis. Cooper's labeled as 2.5 stars, while Purvis is 2 stars. But when looking at them, I think Purvis might even be slightly better. So I have them splitting equal backup minutes, 6 minutes apiece. And otherwise, our starting lineup is pretty clear for the other 4 guys, with our strongest backup player being Alexander. Alexander is somebody I might have to give additional minutes to, especially when those 2 other post players. If neither one of them is doing well with those 6 minutes they have apiece, we very well could be giving those minutes to Alexander down the stretch and making him the go-to off the bench player, and essentially making it a 3-man rotation between Lindquist, Evans, and Alexander, which I think could be very effective. First game of the season against Duke is looking like a likely loss. They are pretty heavily favored, 3-2. But outside of that, I think we can navigate the non-conference schedule relatively well this season. Let's go ahead and get to that season opener. And the season has tipped off. Duke is ranked number 17 to start the year, and this is literally day 1. First game of the season to be played within our conference at all. We've at least seen one lead in this game, and actually 6-3 there for a moment. Just one team foul through the first few minutes. 3-pointer there. Gives ourselves a bit of a chance in this one. It's the Coach's Classic, so we are in neutral territory. We've got some early momentum. McMillian has a couple of assists already, so good for him on that one. Hyde has 5 points with a 3-pointer. And a rebound. Hyde's going to be a big player for us this season. I think Lindquist. I think Post is going to be a good place for us. I think Hyde is going to do well. Houston's a mixed bag. I mean, he scores for us, but he doesn't do a ton otherwise. And it's going to continue to be a season where point guard is our biggest shortcoming. I thought we were going to be better than a year ago with how we were shaping up to be, and all we needed was that point guard, but I don't think we really found it. So I think we're in a scenario where we're definitely worse at the point guard position. We have two backups sharing the load. And otherwise, we're the same team with guys back that make us maybe ever so slightly stronger in the other positions. So on the balance, I think we're a team that's going to have probably a similar year to last year, as long as those 2 point guards aren't terrible. If they can just about get by, we should still be seeing promotion again this season, competing in the conference, maybe for a conference title. It's been a while since we had that third conference title already. We've gone 2 or 3 seasons now without a conference title. Good 14 minutes so far, as the score is level, and we've seen a lead and held the lead for a while, though the score's level right now. But we still have a little bit of momentum, and we're still able to hang in with Duke here in this season opener. And that is with trying a few things out. Rebounds favoring us early on, +5 in that department. Turnovers, -1. That's not bad against Duke. Neither team shooting the ball well right now. We are almost 40% from the field. They are just 32. Free throws have not been a huge factor, though we are doing well with what we've had, 7 for 8, where they're just 3 for 7, 4 for 8 now. And 2 3-pointers. We've only attempted 4, but made a couple of them. They've attempted 14, converting just 2. And I think that is the difference in this game right now, which makes you think second half, they go into the locker room and they talk about it, and they come out and they make a few more threes than what they've done in this half. We've got a totally different game. But we get a little run right before halftime, though it says they have the momentum, but we made the run right before halftime, and it's 33-27. Their main weakness is Wingfield at 1 for 8, 0 for 5 from 3. If that guy comes out shooting different in the second half, then it'll be a different game. Points in the paint, despite our strength in the post, they are ahead in that department. Second chance points, same thing there. We're struggling with the post, though we do have a slight advantage in the fast break, but neither team really producing much. Alexander, big off the bench, though only 2 for 5, but he's 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Plus, he has 6 rebounds. So, yes, Alexander having a really big impact so far. Okay. In the Evans versus... No, it's McMillian. How did he end up? Evans, it's fouls. Okay, Evans has 3 fouls. I didn't see foul trouble ever become a problem, but it did. We ended up with 11 fouls in the first half. They had 6, yet free throws, they were 5 of 10. We were 7 of 8. We never got any additional. Well, anyway, we didn't get to the line where they did. Just one guy with 2 fouls for them, but foul trouble for Lindquist, Evans, and McMillian. Evans obviously did not play much in that first half, just 8 minutes. McMillian picking up the majority of those minutes, so it makes it a little harder to compare Seabrooks versus McMillian. Seabrooks, nothing on his stat line, though, just 0 for 1 and a steal and a couple turnovers. Meanwhile, McMillian also a couple turnovers, but 5 additional minutes. Second half underway with that slender lead, and we open with a 3-pointer. They answer with one of their own. And they go down and score again, back-to-back buckets and a couple free throws, and suddenly it's a 2-point game. Just like that. Second 3 of the half, really the only difference. Otherwise, they would have already taken the lead from us. Not a good start on that part, as fouls were already a pretty big concern for us. McMillian, Houston, and Alexander all on 2 fouls on the court right now, and a slight lead. Another 3-pointer. Wow. We've had 3 3-pointers in this half on, 4 attempts? 5 of 8 now. That's big. That is what's keeping us in this game. Rebounds, slight edge, down to just 2. In fact, we haven't had very many rebounds in quite a while. We had it, 18-11 advantage or 18-12 advantage, and now it's 22-20. The turnovers, just a -1, so we're keeping that close. And that overall shooting really being helped by the 3-pointers in the second half. We didn't attempt much in the first half, but a good start to the second half here in that department. 4-point lead at the moment, though, and they've got themselves a little bit of momentum, but we took that away with that transition bucket. 54-48. I'm liking what I'm seeing right here. Now, first game of the season, right? Things could go very, very differently down the stretch, but we are hanging with a team that is huge. And by the way, I said they were not shooting three-pointers well. Yeah, they've taken care of that here in the second half. Now, they're not suddenly on fire or anything, but they are very much a team with a lead. A lead. That little run we made before half has now been not only negated, but they have their first lead in quite some time with 4 minutes to play. Fouls really not going our way here in the second half as it's 7-3. So we already have them in the bonus, and we are struggling to get back, and they're getting more fouls and getting the free throw line again. Yet somehow we have momentum, so I don't know how we've quite managed to do that. Now they have the momentum. Now is probably a good time to use a timeout. Get the steal there, and we take their momentum away, so that combination, couldn't get the guy on the alley-oop. No? Okay, just cut through yourself. Alexander, 15 points and 11 boards on the double-double for him. Big time performance. Hyde has 12 points as well. Houston, bit of a quiet day for him. 9 points, 5 boards, just 2 assists, 4 of 12 from the field. Houston can very much be hit and miss. 2-point game, 1 minute to play. Can't convert close to the basket there, and we are in a little bit of trouble, especially because they just made that one with 37 seconds, and we turn the ball over and then commit the foul, and suddenly it's a 7-point game with 21 seconds. That pretty much ruined our chances, and then we turn it over, and that's going to do it. Quick transition bucket, but that's not enough. 5-point loss. Still a good showing against a big-time Duke team, but not enough. Not enough to get the win, but competitive in it. Had a chance to win if we weren't so lopsided on the fouls, which, of course, some of that's defensive intensity, of course, but that's what's allowing us as a team way down the pecking order to compete with a team like Duke. We have good defenders who play aggressive. Just foul trouble is always a concern in that type of game, but it gets you to play above your level. We have a thing, and that is our thing, and look what it did. Wingfield, 2 for 11. Heward, 2 for 11. Renich, 2 for 6. We nearly did enough. Nearly. But not quite. On a normal day, Duke's going to crush us. We almost won. We lost, but we've seen those turn into wins. We've seen those turn into, a single Final Four run, and this is not that team. But this is a team that still hung in there really well against a big-time Duke team. Level on rebounds. -4 on turnovers. Held them to 36% from the field. The free throw deficit wasn't major. It was there. It was just enough points. If we had continued to convert in the second half like we did in the first, because we were 7 of 8 in the first, we were 3 of 8 in the second half. So there's 4 points, right? Add those 4 points on, it's a 1-point game. The three-pointers, we were 5 of 10. We finished 5 of 14. Convert one of those, along with those free throws, and we win that game. So we had every opportunity. We were in it. We were there. We were close. But not quite. And that's okay. This game really doesn't mean that much to us, but it was an encouraging thing to see that our defense is good enough to make life really difficult on Conference B favorite top team, Duke. Comfortable wins in our next 2 games, 25-plus points each, and for the first time, I think, we scored over 100 points, 108-82. Defensively, yes, we were wide open there as well, but Hyde had 21. Seabrooks with 7 assists. Evans 7 rebounds. Evans also picking up a minor injury. That'll see him just limited for about a week or so. So no big deal on that one. But, looking at this schedule, Nebraska is the one big one that I'm looking at that could be a bit tough. Nashville's 2-0 so far, but both home games. I think we're going to be in good shape as we navigate the non-conference schedule. I'm going to push forward another 4 or 5 games, see where we're at, and then that'll probably wrap up the episode, and then we'll be doing conference play in the next one as we'll quickly make our way through the last of the non-conference games. But it does look like we are set to kind of cruise through. Net ranking already at 66 early on in the season, and I have a feeling we could and should be inside that top 60 or maybe even top 50 this season. As we go to wrap up this episode, we continued our strong run with 2 more wins, but then Winston-Salem was the one we didn't expect to lose. However, they were 6-1 following that game, and we were on the road, and we lost by 9. Nebraska was a team that I did expect to lose to, so right now, most everything has gone according to plan, though I thought we were going to be 6-2 instead of 5-3. Otherwise, it's all looking fairly good. East Carolina, though, 6-2, 5-0 at home, and we've got to play them on the road. Nashville is ranked and number 18, and we've got to play them on the road. So actually, it looks like we could be having a much worse non-conference schedule than I thought we would this season. Net rank is actually outside of the top 100 at the moment, just barely at 101. Still a good team, but tougher non-conference schedule than I thought it was going to be at the start of the season. There's some pretty good teams, 5 teams that we're having to play on the road that were all really good teams, and we're beating everybody else. But those, tough. But the non-conference schedule doesn't factor in a whole lot if you then go into your conference and do well and get promotion. This may not, if we come out 6-5, this may not be a trip to the NCAA Championship unless we win the conference, though. So that's going to make it a lot more important this year than in past seasons where we were able to get in anyway, despite finishing, second or third in conference. So tough ask going forward. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.